Chris Nelson here, and Trump is facing now many charges. The first being turning the country over to a maniacal dictator named Anthony Fauci. Second is repeated lies about the safety and effectiveness of a certain product that I can't mention on YouTube. And for allowing Fauci to use his bully pulpit, meaning the White House briefing room, to promote dangerous pharmaceutical products. Free advertising, basically. Oh wait, no. He's not on trial for any of those things. He's not even on trial today. No. This is something about his I don't know, overinflating stuff, which I hear like everybody does this. Okay, I hear that there's this game with like rich people that, you know, of course we're not in their world, but they overinflate their assets in order to gain something and blah blah blah. If anybody in the comments, I'm here on YouTube and on Twitter. I see you. If anybody can kind of explain to me a little bit about this, about how overinflating your assets helps you out, I'll post up your comments. But this has mostly been boring. Like, he walks back and forth. I don't know. I don't think cameras are in there. I'll go back a little bit. You know, they're just chilling. Isn't it nice to not see these people in masks anymore? I mean, they used to all be in masks. And I thought it was going to come back in New York. I really did. I thought the masks were going to come back. And they were going to have mandates there again. They haven't so far. Okay, here he is. He comes by here.
Not going on that stool.
Yippity. So there he goes. You got to give it to Trump. You got to give it to Trump. Like, there's no, missing him. I mean, he has this. I mean, that blonde head of hair and everything. You know, it's him when he goes by. You're not going to think it's anybody else.
Okay, thank you, everybody. This is a disgraceful situation. As I say, murders are going on.
Yeah, there's Stephen Chung.
Wasting everybody's time for many months of this case where banks got paid a fortune, loan money got paid money back, didn't even need their money. We built a great company. We have to go through this. So this just broke, but before I discuss that, why are we...
Oh, to get loans. Okay, to get loans. So Trump has not met a debt that he didn't like, okay? Trump has run his whole businesses in debt. And I suggest you watch the Netflix documentary about him, which, by the way, is very pro-Trump. I mean, this documentary, it's called, I can't remember what it's called, but it's about Trump. And they did it like, I think it was before he ran for president or right around that time. And just like with the Roger Stone documentary, which was very pro Roger Stone, this one was very pro Trump. Okay. And it's called like the American Dream or something like that. But Trump, his whole life with his casinos and all these things, he has always, had debt. Okay. And what they're accusing him of here is inflating his properties. New York. In order to say, okay, the trial in downtown Manhattan courtroom case concerns accusations by State Attorney General Letitia James that Trump inflated his assets and his own net worth from 2011 to 2021 to obtain favorable bank loans and lower insurance premiums. So, he kind of goes in. What he was doing was going into these banks and just saying, like, hey, I'm Donald freaking Trump. Give me the money. And, yeah, I got money. And then, this kind of charge is, would she be bringing this if he wasn't a political figure? No. No. Is it probably true? Yeah. Is he probably going to get busted on it? Yes. Look, this is why it's important. It's like, look, dude, if you're going to get into politics, especially if you want to be on the right, you've got to realize that your ducks had better be in an order. And are there people that think that that he's going to possibly be the nominee and they're trying to use this against him? Yes, but he gave them all the rope to hang himself with. Okay? There's Jason Miller. Is that his daughter back there? Show your face, Ivanka. Her and her husband, Jared, they are, elitist does not even come close to describing those two. Then you got bozo Stephen Chung over here, who is tweeting to everybody that Trump bought a gun when he wasn't legally allowed to. This bozo. And then you got his son Eric behind him, who, if you didn't wear a mask or didn't take the vaccine at any of the Trump properties, then oh boy, you had to wear a mask. You had to wear a mask. That's Eric Trump right there. And if you haven't noticed, like, Eric Trump barely tweets, and he doesn't really show himself in politics very much, because Eric Trump is over the Trump properties in Florida. I'm going to try to say less. I go, So all of a sudden, why did you see Eric Trump suddenly jump into action on Twitter over the past couple of days? Okay, and there he is. There's Eric right behind him. Because while Don Jr. is more into the political stuff, and share this, by the way, please share this around. I don't have a huge audience here, but I love my audience. And I thank you all, 10 people or whoever's watching, really honestly. Because these other guys have huge audiences. And we've got to take them on, okay? Because there needs to be other perspectives going on here. But Don Jr. gets, thank you, share. Yes, I want to see more shares. I want to see more shares. I see some shares. Share this, please. Share this around. And don't leave. Don't leave me, please. I love you. I love you. I won't ever do it again. I love you. Don't leave me. I mean, really. But Eric, on the other hand, has been in charge of the businesses, okay? Because when I talked to the lady back in 2021, and this was when I was still a huge Trump fan. Like, I couldn't believe that he would ever do anything wrong, ever, okay? And this lady who, Spanish lady, who was working at one of his properties, the Trump Jupiter Golf Club, run by Eric, who you see behind Trump there, run by Eric. Anything with your name on it, though, you're in charge. I don't care. You can't look, guys. You can't say, oh, because he's not really in charge. Blah blah blah. Eric is in charge of those properties, and you know what she told me about Eric? Total douchebag. Okay. So please, anytime I see this guy posting, and I get it, a lot of people only know what they know from Fox News. But when you live in South Florida, I live in South Florida, okay? Where all the action is, okay? Pretty much all the action on Earth right now is in South Florida and in New York, okay? And all the action in Trump land is South Florida and New York. And she called me in tears. I don't know how she got my number. I wasn't even like reporting at the time. And she said, what they're doing here at the Trump Golf Club is that she was a massage therapist, and they were really heavy handed about getting the vaccine. Oh, big surprise. Trump's vaccine. And she didn't want to take it. And I said, darling, she was crying to me. I was like, darling, and and I kept her name out of it. But how I can prove this is true is because she provided me with the emails. And honestly, when an anonymous source comes to me, I kind of, since I have such a big freaking mouth, which I've never given up an anonymous source ever, but I tend to run my mouth a lot. So when they go, oh, I can't tell you who I am, I work on it. I usually just tell them, you don't need to tell me, who you are. Just provide me with some kind of proof. And she did. She gave me the actual email from the company. And, I'll pull it up here. But what was happening was this was right at the same time that DeSantis had taken action. And yes, Kerry Lake, the Kerry Lake thing. Okay, look, I sometimes you just need to confront somebody, but it would have been better for me to have a conversation with her. And I'll go back to the live stream here rather than it getting confrontational, because we could have gone back and forth and more could have been accomplished by that. But I want to get back to this because I want to see what he said. I'm going to see what's going on here. No, it's just, here's the live stream right now. It's just this. Nothing's going on. But what she said to me was, they were telling her, if you don't wear a mask, then you...
Quiet down.
Oh, wait. Let's listen.
Guys, court's in session, please.
Oh. I thought we're not going to actually... Oh, there's no cameras in there? Really? That sucks. Yeah, they're loving their life right now. They're just like, whatever.
Hey guys, Toby Mathis here, and question I get all the time is, how do I make my personal assets?
Yeah, it's just this. So they're not allowing cameras in, which kind of sucks because, that's what we want to see. But let me go and, oh, great. Glad to see you guys are watching. Listen, you're going to want to hear this, okay? Because this was the first time that I really got an idea of, who Trump is. And 2021 was really the time where I lost a lot of respect for Trump and instead became a DeSantis fan. And it had a lot to do with this, okay? His son, Eric, running these properties down here, and let's go back. And this is before nobody knew who Kerry Lake was at this time. Nobody knew who Marjorie Taylor Greene was at this time. These are people that just show up on the scene that really nobody knew who they were, and suddenly they were presented as, here are your heroes, worship them. Here it is. Here it is. That's why it's kind of funny watching people turn on them. Turn on Matt Gaetz. Knew who he was for a while, but you went up against McCarthy. And Matt Gaetz does exactly what Roger Stone tells him to do. Okay, If you want to see Matt Gaetz and Roger Stone, I would love to see those text messages because it's like every time Roger Stone has some harebrained idea, like make Trump the Speaker of the House or whatever, Matt Gaetz just does it. I don't think Gaetz is all that intelligent. Okay, and you couldn't have a better foot soldier than Matt Gaetz. But look what's happening to him now. Trump is picking McCarthy over Gaetz. Are you surprised by this? He does this all the time. He sends his soldiers out with marching orders to do all these little stunts and storm the Capitol or whatever the hell it is that he wants done at that time. And then in the end, he sides with the establishment. This is what he does this all the time. Okay, really, I mean, and you're like, I'm a good soldier. And there's a lot of those people out there now that are soldiers for Trump. And they're true believers. But in the end, he will stab you in the back. And he doesn't think much of you. The people that are the sycophants, he doesn't think much of you. Okay? Check this out. All right. All right. So what I got here, and this was the site that I was posting on. I didn't own it or start it, but I posted on it a lot because during 2020 and 2021, we were all being censored on Facebook. We were being censored on. I wasn't really on Twitter at this time that much. I really didn't ramp up Twitter activity until like 2022. I thought Twitter was stupid. I kind of was like up the, it was like Twitter that it just, the name sounds stupid. I had a Twitter account, but at that time I was on Facebook a lot. And then they started with the censorship and remember the 7-day bans and the 30-day bans. And you were like in Facebook jail because you had been a bad boy because you said something about the COVID shot that you weren't supposed to. It was like really, really freaking stupid. But that's why the site freeflorida.me got set up. And then I started like writing actual news stories on here because I did go to journalism school. Oh, whoopee-doo. Here's my diploma. All right, here. All right. Prove it to you. Okay. So I had that diploma sitting in my closet for a long time. And I didn't really because it just all it did was represent the debt that came along with it. But here is the oh yeah, if you want to support my work, reopenchris.com. If you could leave me a donation, it would be great for what I do. But it's the Trump National Jupiter Golf Club, private resort and spa. Eric Trump is in charge of these things. That's why you see Eric Trump all of a sudden, he's come out of hiding to do this because he's the one that's running the businesses. Okay. Mar-a-Lago itself is a business. Eric is the one that runs that. Don Jr. Blows coke up his nose all day long. And who else? And I don't know. He banged Kimberly Guilfoyle, which I can't imagine that he's completely faithful to her, but whatever. Gavin Newsom's ex-wife. But Eric's the businessman, okay? And Ivanka and Jared are just trying to like protect themselves because they have a pretty nice life. You should see the place that Ivanka and Eric and Jared own in Miami Beach. You know what? I'm gonna go there. I mean, you can't get like really close, but I'll show you like around. I need to get a drone so I can like show it. Like it's nice. Okay, these people are not hurting, and Ivanka wants to be a celebrity. That's all she's ever wanted to be. She thought tying herself to her dad during 2016 was a good idea because it would help her with her celebrity, but now she's worried about getting tied up in all this nonsense. And she is today. But these are the emails that were sent. Spa director at trumpgolf.com. You see it right there. There it is. This is what Eric Trump was allowing to happen at his resorts. Okay. Good morning, and this is July 2nd, 2021, 10:49 a.m. Good morning, team. Please see the attached for the latest version of our COVID guidelines. If you are fully vaccinated and do not wish to wear a mask, please provide me with your proof of immunization. If you have not been fully vaccinated, you will still be required to wear a mask to protect both yourself and our members. Please feel free to contact me if you have any questions. Charlotte Houseco, Spa and Leisure Director. I reached out to her for comment, didn't get anything, but this was the guidelines that were sent. Your safety is our priority. And it's important to point out that this was a time where DeSantis was going around publicly criticizing this kind of stuff, where what they were doing really was they were making the peasant class wear masks, and then but all the elites didn't have to. Were they doing this to the members too? I doubt it. But this lady told me that at the at the golf club that it was bad. She her clientele what they would do. Look at this. They were making a list of people that weren't vaccinated and making them wear a mask. So obviously this was the time where if you walked into a place and you saw people in masks, you knew they probably weren't vaccinated, because this was when they finally told people you can take off your mask if you're vaccinated. This was straight CDC stuff. But they said also that the clients would know, because they were still wearing a mask, that they weren't vaccinated. So she was losing clients because of that, and she was in tears over it. And most importantly, if this was in New York, you could make an excuse. This was Florida. This was at the time that DeSantis had stopped this. This was not something that Trump Doral or Trump Miami or Trump whatever was being forced to do. They were doing this of their own accord and making their employees' lives hell, okay? So do you see why I don't have really much sympathy for Donald Trump? I don't really care what happens to him. I'm not like one of these guys that thinks that he's that he's this guy that's being persecuted so bad. And I think that he is getting kind of like what he deserves. I don't think he will get what he deserves, because what he'll do is he'll use this for propaganda, and he'll use it for fundraising. But let's go back and hear him talk. You can hear him talk there.
disgraceful. Okay, thank you, everybody. This is a disgraceful situation.
It's all disgraceful. Look at Stephen Chung. You know what's disgraceful? Stephen Chung lying. There he is checking my Twitter account right there.
Case where banks got paid a fortune, loaned money, got paid money back, didn't even need that money. We built a great company. We have to go through this. So this just broke, but before I discuss that, why are we trying a case that the Appellate Division of New York State has just ruled recently that we won 80% of our case. And this judge refuses to acknowledge the ruling, which is very plain for all to see. We won, as you know, it had to do with Ivanka, and it had to do with other things. It had to do with the statute of limitations, where they wanted to go back to 200 years ago, 500 years ago. It was limited, very much limited, and it amounted to about 80% of the case was won by us in the appellate division. And this rogue judge, a Trump hater, the only one that hates Trump more is his associate up there.
The only one who hates Trump more is
person that works
all
with
of
him.
America.
And she's screaming into his ear on almost every time we ask a question. It's a disgrace. You want to know the truth? It's a disgrace. So this rogue judge refuses to acknowledge the fact that we won 80% of this case in the appellate division, including statute of limitations. You know, in the statute of limitations, you have a period of time. He wants to go back so far that nobody's ever even heard of such a ridiculous thing. So we won the case in the appellate division, and this judge refuses to acknowledge the appellate division, meaning he's got contempt for his own court system. Nobody's ever seen that before, where he refuses to even talk about it or acknowledge it. And the Attorney General is she's a corrupt person, a terrible person, driving people out of New York, number one. That's number one. Number two, it just came out a few minutes ago where Palm Beach County, the people that do this, agree with us 100%, and they say the judge is wrong. The judge is wrong in his ruling.
What? Who? Alan Dershowitz, the guy that licks your butt every day? Yeah, yeah.
And it's worth $1 billion, maybe $1.5 billion. And you saw where various
whoa. Mar-a-Lago is not worth $1 billion. Okay. All right. Mar-a-Lago is not worth 18 million. All right. That it was undervalued. Mar-a-Lago is worth a couple $100 million. Just look at the houses around it. A couple $100 million. It's not worth $1 billion. What's this guy's deal with it? I saved 1 billion lives. It's worth $1 billion. He loves that word, but Mar-a-Lago in no freaking way is worth. I will even go as far to say it might be worth $500 million. But $1 billion, and that's a stretch. I mean, I've looked at it. You know, what is Mar-a-Lago worth? I mean, and that's probably a big thing. It's not. But his own look. Okay, look at this. Okay, this is how Trump can just like lie straight to people, and then they don't even question it. Okay. Trump says Mar-a-Lago is worth 1.8 billion. Not long ago, his own company thought that it was over set 1.7 billion too high. The county valued Mar-a-Lago in 2020 at $27 million. All right, so he's just lying here, okay? Look, the county said it was worth 27 million. I think it's worth more than that because the houses around there, look, the houses in Palm Beach where Epstein, Trump's buddy, lived down the road and all that, these are worth, I couldn't believe it when I heard what some of them are worth. 30, 40 million, 100 million. I mean, these are nice houses. And Mar-a-Lago is a club. I mean, it's this big, I mean, you've seen it. But $1 billion, but he's standing here lying about this again. Just like he lied about building the wall and then having Mexico pay for it.
Totally subject to the clause that you've all been hearing about doing buyer beware, as they call it.
Hold on here.
But this just came out. Error in New York civil fraud case against Trump is flagged by industry insiders. Evaluation of Mar-a-Lago cited by judge is based on a misunderstanding of basic real estate practice. So they're saying the judge has misunderstood basic real estate practice. I say they're wrong about that. He didn't misunderstand it. This is a rigged court. He's put there to do a job on Trump. Now this comes from
Why does he always
highly
refer to
respected
himself in the
officials
third person?
in Palm Beach County. Also, apparent mistake by Judge Angoran surfaces in the use of a Palm Beach County appraisal of Mar-a-Lago that, an expert says, is detached from the true value of the property. Now, I don't know the people that we're talking about in Palm Beach County, but they saw this egregious trial, this horrible, horrible trial going on, while at the same time people are being murdered right outside of the streets, and nothing happens to those people that do the murdering. They go after Trump. So this was just released by Palm Beach County, that the judge in this case is wrong. And by the way, he's talking
Dude,
about
just
them.
be honest. It's not worth $1 billion. Okay, it is worth a couple $100 million. Like, why do you have to say, oh, it's worth $1 billion? It's not worth $1 billion. It's worth like a couple $100 million.
So they're explaining to him that he's wrong. Here's another one just came out. New York v. Trump could set precedent for the use of New York's overweening executive law. One doesn't have to be a lawyer to see the danger to anyone doing business in the Empire State. Anybody that does business in New York State is crazy. When you have a radical left attorney general like Letitia James, who's a disgrace to our country, who got elected on the fact that she's going to take down President Trump. We're going to take him down. She knew nothing about me. But she got elected on that basis. And we have others likewise. Take a look at what's going on in Georgia. Take a look at Jack Smith. Take a look at these people. This is called election interference, and worse than that, really much worse than that. And you don't get much worse than election interference, especially we're talking presidential election of 2024. So this judge should change his ruling because Palm Beach County said he was totally wrong, and he was ruling based on them.
They did? It says that, wait a minute, It says it was worth, Palm Beach County says it was worth 27 million.
The trial didn't even start. You know, the trial starts, I guess, today.
They said it was worth 27
Even though
million.
they lost a big part of the case Because he's a Democrat club politician. He's a Democrat operative, and he's a disgrace to people that call themselves judges. And I hope my lawyers go in, and I hope they fight him very hard, because this guy's getting away with murder. And his clerk should not be allowed to be in his ear on every single question. You take a look at what's happening.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Let me tell you,
He
that's
hates
something. I don't see him get angry like that a lot. You see, he just got angry there. He just got angry. You don't always see him get angry. I mean, he usually will do his little thing, but there he's angry. And you notice that, like, this is really making him mad. You know, and, you know, my theory is he's got to act like it was worth. What did he say it was valued at? $1.8 billion. It's not worth. Look, Mar-a-Lago is not worth 1.5 billion. Look, okay, I know some of you aren't going to want to hear this, but he's got a real problem here. And would he be going through this if he was not politically involved? No, of course not. In all likelihood, no. But when you get politically involved, you, especially if you're on the right, you have to make sure that you're not doing dirt anywhere. Because I think they got him on this. I mean, he's there saying this property's worth a 1.5 billion, and he was using this to get loan. He's in trouble, guys. He's in trouble. And I know how many people love to worship this guy, and that Fox News worships this guy, and Mark Levin and Alan Dershowitz worship this guy, but it just, yeah, I really think they got him here.
He does. So that's where it is. We have 80% of this trial has been won. In June, they came down, the end of June, with a decision, a very powerful decision. And it said, on statute of limitations and just about everything else, would you say approximately 80% of the trial? Attorneys, is that right? Approximately 80% of the
Jason
trial.
Miller back there.
He refuses to.
All right, that's Jason Miller back there. And boy, that's the guy that Jason Miller went and said, you know, hey, look, the election was not stolen. He testified before the January 6th committee. He's like my age. The election was not stolen. And then went out and told everybody else otherwise. Why isn't Dr. Fauci there with him? Fauci lives in New York, right? Dr. Fauci should be there by his side. He should say, Dr. Fauci, come on over and talk. You're right. It was $1 billion, and you saved 1 billion lives. I mean, why isn't Dr. Fauci there?
Acknowledge his own appellate division. And I think it's a disgrace to our country. And somebody has to fight, because if you don't fight, our country is just going to go down the tube.
It's not. It's you.
This guy's a highly partisan person.
Yeah, Ron DeSantis is going to
and
fight.
we can't.
He's fighting. You're not.
So you should ask yourself.
Ron DeSantis fought against the mandates. You didn't.
Respect for you, not all of you, but a lot of you. Why is it that he didn't honor the decision of the appellate? And by the way, I believe it was a unanimous decision, right? It's a 5-0 decision, unanimous decision. And he said, I'm not going to honor it. Let's go to trial. This is a judge that should be disbarred. This is a judge that should be out of office. This is a judge that some people say could be charged criminally for what he's doing. He's interfering with an election, and it's a disgrace. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Mr. Trump, why do you want to be here in person today?
I want to watch this witch hunt myself. I've been going through a witch hunt for years. But this is really now getting dirty between Jack Smith and between all of these DOJ people helping them along. This is a pure witch hunt for purposes of interfering with the elections of the United States of America. It's totally illegal. This judge should be disbarred. He shouldn't be allowed to
Dude,
be
look
a
at
judge.
Stephen Chung sweating. Look at his sweating. Oh, geez, such a sweaty guy. I wonder what do you think Trump's going to call Stephen Chung when he throws him under the bus? He's got plenty of names for that guy. Right, there's plenty of material there, as he would say. All right, let's go back to live. Let's see what's happening as he come out. They're not letting cameras in there. All right, let's see what he said at the very beginning.
They weren't there. It would be open though.
I know. I think it's open. It was open before.
Right.
Yeah. I think they got it blocked right now.
See what Letitia James says here. Let's go.
Committed persistent and repeated fraud. Last week, we proved that in our motion for summary judgment. Today, we will prove our other claims. My message is simple. No matter how powerful you are, no matter how much money you think you may have, no one is above the law. And it is my responsibility and my duty and my job to enforce it. The law is both powerful and fragile. And today in court, we will prove our case. I thank you all for being here. And again, justice will prevail. Thank you.
See, that's how you make a statement. You know, like Trump's carrying on. And look, I get it. She's on the left, okay? But I mean, there's a thing where you give them enough rope to hang yourself with. Believe me, I know something about this. I've given enough people. You know, I mean, which side is more disciplined? I mean, the rope to hang yourself with wasn't that Lenin that said that? The capitalists will always give themselves enough rope to hang themselves with. Look, you're going to be judged by your words and your actions, okay? And it's not going to be fair. It sucks. I know. But complaining about it isn't going to help. You're right, Karen. If you always tell the truth, then you don't have to worry about this stuff. And Ron DeSantis always tells the truth. Look, let me just stop for a minute here. Okay? Let me just stop and just tell you something, okay? This is what I like about Ron DeSantis. And I hope you're watching. People give this guy so much of a hard time. All right? They say that, in Florida, we had some business shutdowns. Yeah, we did. Mainly at the behest of local governments. But DeSantis stood up to them. What I like about Ron DeSantis is he's very unique. He's a powerful, good-looking man who doesn't have wholesale sex with other women. He doesn't do shady things. And to me, people are like, oh, well, that person's a Christian Catholic. They were christened or they were this, that. Like, who cares? To me, having a politician who will fight for you, who is clean, who doesn't get involved in this stuff because he's not greedy. But believe me, I'm sure he has to fight it. You think DeSantis doesn't see some of these hotties? You think some of them don't throw themselves at him? Please. Why do you think DeSantis, and this reminds me of Billy Graham, by the way. Billy Graham, I remember my mom told me, she was like, Billy Graham will stay in a hotel room and he like won't talk to anybody or let anybody in his hotel room because what if a woman like came in and then jumped on him and then somebody took a picture and it created a scandal. He like DeSantis, people say, oh, he's antisocial, he doesn't talk to people and stuff. Like antisocial might not be the right word, but he's kind of like a little bit, you know, he doesn't involve himself with a lot of things. It's because of protecting himself. Okay? Because he knows people are out to frame him and say things about him and stuff like that. Like what's happening to Trump right now. So DeSantis, he probably could have had sex with about, babe, how many women can a man have sex with in 1 year?
In a year? I don't know.
Who's attractive? You're supposed to have sex with your wife like 365 times, of course, like that's some stuff. But like how many? Probably a lot. Like a powerful man like DeSantis, like he has opportunities to be, you know, to cheat, to like more opportunities than any of us have. But he doesn't do those things. And that kind of thing is very rare, especially today. And if Trump wasn't into all these lusts of the flesh, and where's Melania, by the way, and this greed and these things, we wouldn't be here today. All right. So Ron DeSantis makes sacrifices, and because of a higher cause. Because do you see what's happening here? Trump's unwilling to do that. All right. So one of the reasons why. Okay, here we go. Anthony R. Thanks for jumping on. Rush Limbaugh's estate just sold for $155 million. It's a little smaller than Mar-a-Lago, but it's more private. Yes, I live in South Florida. I know where Rush Limbaugh's house is. All right. Yes, $150 million. I mean, that's what I said. That's what I said about Mar-a-Lago. And this whole thing where Trump's saying 1.5 billion.
What?
It's not worth 1.5 billion. Epstein's house was bulldozed. Big surprise. Yeah. These houses are worth in the $100 million. Okay.
That's still a lot of money.
Thank you, Anthony. Rush Limbaugh's house was put at, yeah, it's a lot of money. But why do you think Trump was claiming 1.5 billion? He said he saved 1.5 billion lives.
Because he doesn't understand math. He's a retard.
Well, I think there's more to it. I think the fact that he probably told them it was worth that. What did he tell them it was worth? Do you know? Because what he did was he told people it was worth something in order to get loans and to get other things. That's what he did. That's what they got him on. And I just don't see Eric Trump freaking out like this if some of this wasn't true. I mean, because Eric Trump is the one that's overseeing all this. Eric Trump is basically the CEO of Mar-a-Lago because Donald Trump knows that Don Jr. is a bozo, and he's not going to put him in charge of anything important. But Eric kind of has like the only one that has like a couple of brain cells.
He's a mass Nazi.
Yeah, he's a mass Nazi. Already called him out on it. I know that. Hey, what's up, Karen? Oh, yeah. I'm trying to build my YouTube channel. Can some of you help me? Because, like, I'm so freaking broke right now. You have no idea. People think, look, this whole thing, you get paid by DeSantis.
No,
Do I get paid by DeSantis?
I wish you did.
My wife wishes I did. Okay? Do I get paid by DeSantis? And this rumor, honestly, I ignored it for a while because I was like, wow, if I just ignore it, whatever. But it showed up everywhere, like among people I used to be friends with. You're paid by DeSantis, and it's a way to discredit what I'm saying.
Right.
If I was ever part of the DeSantis campaign, or if I ever was paid by him, I would tell you. I would, full disclosure, I would put Team DeSantis in my profile. I would, full disclosure, because you're going to find out anyway. But it's a way of discrediting things I say. I feel like, you know, people are, whatever. Okay, I'm not really complaining about it, but yeah, yeah, all's well. Don't worry about it. So, we'll go back to this.
Why do you have to stay all the same?
No, it looked like it.
Could be any number of them. It's a different, you know.
Yeah.
Thank you, Karen. Yes. Yes. Jeez. Check this out.
Quiet down.
All right, something's about to happen. I don't know. They've been saying quiet down for a long time. I'm sleeping.
If it hadn't been for one simple safety item, this could have been a family tragedy.
House fires occur in this country every 87 seconds.
350,000 house fires are reported each year. Nearly 3,000 people lose their lives.
And did you know the #1 place that they start is right here in the kitchen?
With my years on fire departments, I've extinguished and dealt with the aftermath of a lot of kitchen fires. And folks, they devastate families. But here are the facts.
They almost all start small, and they're almost always preventable if you catch them early. So I'm going to show you the ingenious essential items you need and probably don't have.
This is the emergency fire blanket from Prepared Hero.
This device can be the difference in avoiding tragedy when fire happens.
When there's a small fire, pull the blanket out by its tabs, cover the fire with the blanket, and it's out. No complicated instructions, no gambling your family's future on unreliable remedies. It just works. Every time.
These are effective against all kinds of fires. Grease, cooking oil, electrical, and other common types of fires as well.
And unlike heavy, dry
All right, while we wait for this idiocy, I just want to go to this poll I took, okay? And I think I just heard somebody say vaccine. Remember they were making everybody get vaccinated, even like hang out in these places? Oh my God, Karen, you just lost me. You just lost me. It's not, DeSantis is not ready yet to be president. Yet Trump is not ready to be president. He's ready to go to jail for all these stupid things he's done. Look, I know that we're made to believe that only geriatrics can be president. I know that's like the talking point, and that was like the number one talking point. DeSantis isn't ready. DeSantis is our only shot for our country right now. And if you don't see that, I especially if you live in Florida, stop listening to Steve Bannon. Stop listening to these clowns. Please stop listening to these idiots. All right, who say these lines, you know, and I've been through it all, okay? You know, we've been through it all. We've been through, first, Ron DeSantis is not ready to be president. Then it went to, it's not his turn. Then it went to, he's a deep state rhino globalist establishment, you know, Jeb Bush, you know, puppet. And I'm like, and then it went to, what did it go to next? But this is all just Trump propaganda, okay? If Trump was not in the picture, everybody would be behind DeSantis right now, okay? It wouldn't even be a choice. We are winning. Sorry, Karen. If you're on the team that DeSantis isn't ready yet, no, we're not. And if we have to sit through 4 years, 8 years of Newsom for you guys to learn your freaking lesson and to get it through your heads that this is our country here, this is bigger than some orange billionaire's ego, then enjoy the ride. The thing is a lot of Trump supporters are like on Social Security and they're set for life monetarily. They're not like out there hustling. They're like people that have and they sit there behind their computers and they, you know, they want to live vicariously through this QAnon stuff, and they want to, you know, feel like, oh, like look at this nasty skank Kimberly Guilfoyle, okay? This nasty, you know, rich, snobby skank Kimberly Guilfoyle. Former ex-wife of Gavin Newsom. In the end, they're not coming after me. They're coming after you. I'm just standing in their way. President Trump, how stupid can you be to actually believe that? They're after you. Look, was he in the way when they went after Enrique Tarrio? Did he stand in the way when they went after any of the J6ers? He doesn't stand in the way for anybody. If Trump was going down on the Titanic, he would jump in the lifeboat, wouldn't let anybody in, and he would take all the life vests all for himself. He might take Stephen Chung with him, but Stephen Chung would sink the boat, so he probably wouldn't take him with him. So he might let Alex Bruzewicz come on with him. But this idea that Trump is somehow, they're coming after us, but he's just protecting him. Name one person, please. Karen, can anybody name one person that Trump has saved and showed, or just one time Trump has shown selflessness in any way? Oh man, guys, look, yeah, it would be great. Let's just say, hey, DeSantis can run in 8 years. I don't get, we probably won't have a country by then. It'll be over. I'll come back later. Garrett, look, it's just, name one person that Trump has stood in the way for. Name one person. Name one time Trump has ever been selfless in his entire life. One time. You can't find it. No, you can't. Because it's never happened. Where has he ever been in the way? Where has he ever been in the way? No, he hasn't. This is totally lame. Standing up to tyrants, like Trump admitted it, that he couldn't build the wall because he admitted he lied about that, about saying that he was going to make Mexico pay for it. Oh my goodness. If you're still in that, I can't do a whole lot for you.